Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Friday Facebook. Um, Happy to be back after my break last week where I was on vacation in sunny and warm Florida. Back home this week, back to my normal routine, and I think I'll just touch on that real quickly because I think it kind of plays into the discussion today what I want to talk about. But I think a lot of people struggle with, you know, getting out of their routine. Like they're doing really good, and then they, towards achieving whatever goal they're working at, and then they go on vacation or they have something come up for work or they get really busy and they kind of get thrown off from what their normal routine is, and then they never really get back to it. And I think one of the most successful traits that I see for clients who are able to maintain or achieve their goal for the long term is that they jump right back into it. And something that I found to be, not only in myself, I noticed it that I may spend a week or so where I don't do my meditation, or I don't do my mobility, or I don't do my normal exercise routine, or whatever it may be. I may not be eating as normal as I normally would. But once, whatever the interruption is that is over, I'm right back to it. And, I'm back to where I was prior, right? So, yeah, I was on vacation and I didn't meditate every morning and I didn't go for my morning walk and I was exercising, but I was not exercising to the degree or at the intensity I normally would be. On vacation, I certainly ate a ton of delicious foods that probably wouldn't normally eat at home if I was at home, not on vacation. But as soon as I came back home, we got walked back in the door, and the first meal we had was just a hamburger and vegetables, and I had some butternut squash. Nothing like I didn't run out and order, Five Guys burger and fries, juicy burger, and have a bunch of dessert afterward or whatever. Like I was right back to my normal way of eating. I was right back to the next day I got up and did my same morning routine that I was doing before I left on vacation. I did my meditation, I did my mobility, I did my aerobic work or aerobic exercise, and just right back to where I left off. And so, yeah, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to switch things up and go on vacation and not do what you normally would do. But once that's over, it's time to get back to it, right? It's time to get back to your everyday eating habits. Time to get back to your exercise. Time back to your meditation, and you'll feel rejuvenated. You'll feel much better, right? Felt much stronger. I felt, my aerobic work was much easier. It's just, you feel a lot better after that, and it just makes everything better. So, and that's what it takes to maintain something, right? And that's kind of where it leads me to what I want to talk about this week, which is having some type of cognitive oversight, and why that is important in achieving your goals or maintaining healthy habits that you're trying to implement, right? And if you read the little description alongside the video, what I wrote basically as an example here is, someone that's trying to consume more vegetables throughout the day. They're coming from a more Western / standard American diet way of eating, and they don't really consume a lot of vegetables. They eat a lot of highly processed foods, and if it was just if they say, well, my goal is to eat a lot more vegetables and to eliminate a lot more processed foods, and that's the end of it, right? And then they set off to try and achieve that and listen to what their body's telling them, and just without any kind of forethought or planning or anything that goes into it, they're gonna choose what they're used to eating, right? Maybe 1 or 2 days they might consume a few more vegetables, but I guarantee by the end of the week they're kind of falling back into their old habits of still consuming the same amount of foods and not really consuming much more in the way of vegetables. But if you apply a little bit of cognitive oversight to that, you can be much more successful or I find that clients are much more successful in implementing and maintaining new habits. So that can be as simple as putting some stickers on a piece of paper, right? So every time you eat a serving of vegetables, you put a sticker on a piece of paper. If your goal is to eat 3 to 5 servings of vegetables a day, you want to look on that piece of paper to see if you have 3 to 5 stickers on there or more by the end of the day. And if you do, great. One day you have 4 stickers, one day you have 3 stickers, one day you have 6 stickers. Great. You're on a roll. You have a way of tracking it. But if you get to the end of the day, your last meal, and you only have 1 sticker there, well, you have some work to do, right? And that at dinner, you probably need to prioritize the vegetables that you're going to eat, that you're going to have there, because you still need to get 2 more servings in dinner. And so without that, bro, if you were just going by, how you feel, I don't really remember if I ate, well, I had some vegetables at breakfast, but yeah, that was a lot of vegetables, and okay, so I don't really need vegetables at dinner, and now you're falling short of your goal, right? So just by providing very simple cognitive oversight, and the sticker thing is like something, I just thought of because, when you're something silly that you're trying to potty train a child, right? You give them stickers every time they use the potty, right? And that just, it's more of a reward and excitement type of thing for them than it is, but it's also a way of like tracking, like, okay, you use the potty this many times today, right? Good job. And we'll see if the next day we can do more. And so it's a way of, I hate to use the word tracking. I like the word cognitive oversight, because I think a lot of people get stuck in, when they hear the word tracking, they think, oh, I need to have my food tracking app, and I need to log it and weigh it and all that other stuff. And if your goal is extreme enough, and not to say that I use the word extreme, but not that it's detrimental extreme, but like it was to the point where you're trying to get down to single-digit body fat percentage, if you're a guy, yeah, you probably need to start weighing things. You probably need to be tracking things in a food app or whatever, right? If your goal is just to be healthy, you're trying to eat 3 meals a day and eliminate all the processed foods, you could just write down what you ate every day and see if that, and just make sure you're not eating a bunch of garbage, right? And that you're getting the 3 servings of protein, your vegetables, and maybe a little bit of fruit and some starchy carbs or whatever in there, whatever your goal might be, or whatever you like to eat, right? It doesn't have to be, that's a form of cognitive oversight. Yeah, it's a little bit of a form of tracking, but it's not tracking to the extreme, right? So, and the same could be said of like movement, right? You're trying to maintain a walking habit, right? A movement habit, and you're trying to walk 3 times a day. Again, you could use something like a fitness tracker, and track it, step by step if you want to, or you could use a sticker approach for that. It's like, I'm looking for 3 stickers saying that I want for 3 walks today of 20 minutes or longer. If you get to the end of the day, you only have 1 sticker for 1 20-minute walk. Well, you need to somehow squeeze in a 40-minute walk at the end of the day to get your 3 20-minute walks, right? So, it doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to be crazy. You just need to come up with a way of providing some type of cognitive oversight, some oversight to the practice you're trying to implement, so that you can stay consistent and make sure that you're meeting the goal that you're trying to meet, instead of just relying on what you would normally do in your body signals, right? Because unfortunately, so many of us are disconnected from our body signals, right? When you look at a bowl of broccoli and a Snickers bar, your body's going to say, give me the Snickers bar, right? And for a variety of reasons, whether it's from habit, because that's what you're used to eating, or because there's a lot more calories and deliciousness in the Snickers bar, so your monkey brain says eat that instead of the broccoli, or whatever, right? But if you have some type of cognitive oversight to say, okay, well, I really want the Snickers bar, but I only have my 1 serving of vegetables today, I should probably eat the vegetables to get to at least 2 servings, then you're going to choose it. You're more likely to choose the vegetables. Maybe you say, screw it, I don't really want to, and I'm going to choose the Snickers bar anyways, which is a different story. But at least you have that oversight there to tell you, okay, well, I should probably choose the broccoli. And if you choose to ignore it at that point, well, that's a different ball game altogether. But yeah, at least you have some way of knowing that, okay, this is where I'm at, this is how far away I am from my goal, and this is where I need to be. So there's lots of different forms of cognitive oversight. that you can try and experiment, right? Some people love using a food tracking app. Some people, that drives them insane. Some people love weighing and measuring their food. Some people drive them insane. If you had to write every single thing you ate down on a piece of paper, that would drive me insane personally, because that's not efficient for me, right? Like, if I use a food tracking app, for me, I eat a lot of the same foods every single day. I go into my app, I copy what ate this previous day, I paste it in there, I enter one or two different things, which is basically the protein that I'm going to eat that day, and I'm done for the day. I have all my everything I ate, and I know exactly how much I ate. I have a roughly idea calories, fat, etc. Right? It takes a little bit of work in the beginning to figure out, to get things right, which foods are going to work, which foods, etc. But after you get that done and you find your rhythm, your pattern, for me, it's very simple. Like, it doesn't take much effort at all to track my food in something like Chronometer. But for other people, that drives them insane. I completely understand that. It can be very triggering for them. So using other methods of just tracking what you're eating, whether you write down a notebook, or you use stickers or whatever, or your walks or whatever, like, it doesn't matter to me. So find something, but it just needs to be something that you can look back on and say, okay, I'm making progress. It's helping me keep track of my progress towards my goal, and it's helping me get there, and it's helping me make sure that I'm not deviating or straying away from where I'm trying to be. And that's quite important, I find, in lots of health and fitness goals. So that's all I got today. I hope that's helpful and insightful to you. As always, if you want to get all this content sent to you directly in your inbox, you can sign up for my newsletter, and I encourage you to do so. You can go to rjbhealth.coach. At the top, there's a newsletter link, and you click on that, and we can enter your email address, and I'll just email you these videos and blog posts and all that other stuff throughout the week. It's about 2 or 3 emails a week, so nothing really major, and it's, I hope, quite actionable as well. If you're interested in coaching, I still have a wait list going, but you can go to my website again, rgbhealth.coach, and you'll see a button on the homepage to schedule a discovery call. Fill out the Google form, and we can put you on the waiting list. And as always, if you have questions, comments on this topic or any other topic, please feel free to drop a comment here on the video, or direct message me, or send me an email, whatever you really want. Always happy to help and talk. So with that, I'll let everyone go. I hope everyone has a good, if you're in the United States, 4th of July weekend. Celebrate Independence Day on Monday here in the States. And if not, just have a good weekend and do something fun. And I'll talk to everyone next week.